Mine. 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 Mine.
Hey, did anyone order a meme build with some noodles on top? Yeah? Well, here you go. Let me tell you what it's made of. Soul Mantle with 2 Kikazaru's rings to counter the spiciness of Soul Mantle. The other option to counter the spiciness would be to order a drink, a very long duration drink to remove curse. Talking about curses, Self-Flagellation jewel. The more spicy it gets, the more damage you do. And if it gets too spicy, chew on some Trolltimber Spire Killer Shield. Our chef Hierophant mixes those together and performs a ritual of awakening for some extra memes. And meme you go. Bon appetit! Well, in all seriousness, this build was requested quite a lot of times, and I was actually curious myself. And I'm sure you understand that this is not a serious build. I wanted extra memes. And taking Ritual of Awakening is not very beneficial, it gives very slight overall DPS increase. So if you wanted more serious build, you would instead take Conviction of Power and make a crit build. Most likely with Shimmeron Wand, and not Lightning Warp. I did level using Shock Nova and Stormcall. Stormcall is really nice. So you can definitely do a pretty strong Stormcall totem build. But I'm not gonna talk about that because it basically requires to change almost all passive skill tree, and items, and gems, maybe even your ascendancy class. So instead, let's just focus on Lightning Warp. So this is my level 78 hierophant called Missing Shoulders. And as you can expect, the damage is not the best, but it could be definitely improved in many ways. I was able to do like tier 9 maps, but it was pretty difficult to dealing with bosses, and in some cases damage seemed ok, but in other cases it was just completely terrible. I kept failing Abyss cracks. Lightning Warps does not attack enemies that are too close to the walls, like for example Kitawa, they just did nothing. So tight corridor maps basically make this build infinitely worse. Like Lookout map. It was probably one of the worst maps that I tried with this build. An easy solution is just use Stormcall. Also, here's an important info about Lightning Warp. The mana cost is just insane, and this is only on 5-link Soul Mantle. You basically have to get Sanctuary of Thoughts or you have to go Mind over Matter. But if you go Mind over Matter, you may not have enough mana, or if you take too much damage, you will drop too low on your mana and will not be able to cast another totem. So that's why I did not go with Mind over Matter. Also, while you are on full energy shield, Sanctuary of Thoughts makes your skill cost 0 mana. Also, I am not using less duration support gem, because that also heavily reduces the duration of your totems. And another also, I'm not sure if it is a bug or not, but Lightning Warp duration enchantment also reduces the duration of your totem. Well, I mean, not just enchantment, but Lightning Warp itself with levels reduces the duration, which also affects the totems. And if you don't know, reduced duration on Lightning Warp is needed to make it go faster. So I had to take totem duration nodes. And my totems still only last about 8 seconds only, compared to over 12 seconds for Searing Bond totem. I do have a helmet with Lightning Warp enchantment. Now let me talk about items quickly and then passive skill tree. Like I said, Soul Mantle for extra totem, 2 Kikazaru's rings to counter the negative effect of Soul Mantle, Self-Flagellation is very nice, and I really like Trolltimber Spire shield. It is the only item that can give you leech from your totems. But if you feel tank enough or you can just dodge all the bullets like some Neo, then you could definitely use some high spell damage shield, or maybe crit shield if you are going for crit build. But having low regen and no leech does feel very bad. And the rest of the items are just whatever. Just life resistances and maybe some mana, or also mana regen. Well, you could also use Tokohama's Fortress, which adds another totem, but it gives blood magic and is also very expensive. Oh, I was actually using Malakai's similar Iron Mask. It gives spell damage, lightning damage and blood magic, and I was using that until I got Uberlap done. That is when I got Sanctuary of Thoughts to reduce my mana cost. But using blood magic means you can't really use auras. Well, at least not in this case. You could use Essence Worm Ring to suck at your aura, but I mean your ring slots are reserved. Let's talk skills. Inside Soul Mantle I am using Lightning Warp added lighting damage, lighting penetration, control destruction, and elemental focus. And if you got 6 link, you probably don't need my help. Next, I am using Wrath, Clarity, Viv, and Lighten. Also, Flame Golem. Searing Bond, Elemental Focus, Burning Damage, and Empower. Well, it's probably not the best setup, but that's what I had, at least at that moment, and I could not be bothered to do something else with that. There is only so much suffering I can endure from one build. And actually, Searing Bond adds an extra totem. So you have 5 Lightning Warp totems and Searing Bond totem. And Searing Bond links them all with those burning noodles. Next, I'm using Conductivity, but it's really not the best. You would better use Elemental Weakness. Then I have usual cast and damage taken level 1 with Immortal Call level 3 and also Molten Shell level 10. It would be better to use Phase Run, but I just don't have enough dexterity. And that's all. Just don't forget that Searing Bond actually reduces the damage per totem because of Ritual of Awakening. And here's my passive 3. Enough for passive 3. As always, I will add links in video description to passive skill tree and path of building import code. But please, don't do this build. Or at least do a proper build with less memes and more crits, I guess. And that's all about this build. My next build is Crit Incinerate. And I think it should be pretty fun and pretty strong. And that's it. Thank you for watching and see you next time.